Hey guys, so this week we're talking about research and planning. And when it comes to planning a story, I tend to start out by writing a lot of notes. And it's not like the sticky note format that I showed a while back, because that's when I have things really firmly in stone. When I talk about notes, I'm talking, you know, potential lines in a conversation or even something as simple as something a character likes or dislikes or a current event that's going on that, I feel motivated to write about. And so there's plenty of scraps of paper that I have in a giant box that are from various stories, past and present. And, not all of them are winners. Some of them, remain in that box. The other thing when it comes to planning a story is if I have ideas for a character and I don't have a story for them, then I just have notes on said character. So, for example, right now, I have a steampunk novel that I've been floating in my head for 2 or 3 years. But the problem is I only have one character for it, and it's a support character. So that's not as helpful to write the overall story because I haven't really decided too much on the main cast. The other thing that happens oftentimes when I'm planning a story is sometimes I'll just come up with a very poignant scene, and it's a matter of figuring out how I want to get from point A to point B, and so some of my notes and various planning comes to that. One of the other things that I do when it comes to planning a story is sometimes I'll look at stuff that's already out, stuff that I have heard of, and have known about since I was a little kid. So, for example, 2012's NaNoWriMo that I'm already starting research on, I know, crazy, is me taking Little Red Riding Hood and implanting it into a post-apocalyptic world. And in a lot of ways, I'm having to research for this because I don't have as much experience writing in the PA genre, which is tough because I also don't read a lot of that literature, so I'm working on reading what's already out there, talking to friends that read a lot in the science fiction genre, and finding out what's already been done because you don't want to write something that's already been done. That's embarrassing. The other thing I'm doing is playing any kind of PA video game. So right now I am working towards playing Fallout 3 or New Vegas. I actually can't remember. It's in a pile that needs to be played. And basically, video games work for almost anything sci-fi, but don't use it for obviously war movies because that's terrible research right there. The other thing is if you're doing research for a zombie book or movie, if you're script writing, watch movies, watch TV shows, read comic books. I mean, there are so many things that you can do to research that aren't just limited to Google searches and the library. I mean, you can really fill your entire media consumption with things that fit that genre. So the other thing you can also do is, look up weather of the location if that's relevant. So for example, if your story is taking place in, London in the winter, obviously, figure out what is the day-to-day for weather in London in the winter. It works. If it's possible and if you have the money, travel because, there's no better way to experience a place than traveling there yourself. So, anyway, I hope that is kind of a brief and very quick sum of how I do a lot of my planning and research. So, sorry this video is late, and don't forget to be awesome. Check you all next week.